Welcome to Y Space.
Hey, y'all.
How's it going?
Listen, it's good. It's good. Just gonna go
We
with
promise things are fine. We're fine. Everyone's fine.
that. God. We
We're
just
fine.
stress too much
Taylor's
about
fine.
life, so that's the issue. But last week we had a little bit of our fake fall down here in Texas, to where it dipped into like the upper 80s, and so it gives you hope that one day we will get out of the depths of hell that we're in. But this week we are back to about 100.
I made a mistake. I believe it was maybe last week or the week before. I was texting you and Laura, and I wasn't trying to brag about our weather, but I was commenting maybe proudly about our weather. It got hot here this week. Now I feel a little bit weak saying that, being from Arkansas where it's been like 110 all week. It got like in the mid 90s here.
Yeah, that's still hot though.
In the mugginess, it's
yes.
Listen, what I wouldn't give for a dry heat. My hair, it's as big as it looks, people. I mean, the camera's not adding 10 pounds to my hair. The humidity is.
Yes. Yeah. No, I need it to be gone. 2 weeks ago, we were at 109, and that was the actual temperature, not what it feels like. And then we dropped to 88 a couple of days last week, but now we're back up to like 98, 99. Mm-hmm. We've got to pick a lane. Listen, I dress inside like it's winter because that's what Doug makes our house feel like. But as soon as I go outside, it's like heat stroke. So
I think that is, if you hear some congestion, I think that's my issue, that Aaron keeps it pretty meat locker-esque inside, and it's depths of muggy hell outside. So I've got a thing. If you're an ASMR person, today's not the episode.
Not the day. Listen, even at night, like the house is freezing. We've got the ceiling fan on, the fan by the bed.
And a bed.
Yeah. And then I've got my heating blanket turned on because I'm freezing.
Yeah, that fan that we've got at the foot of the bed, I call that the pneumonia blower.
Okay.
That's what's happening here. It's in my lungs today. Things are.
Listen.
Anyway, welcome to Y Space. Yeah, welcome to Y Space. We're here to talk about entertainment and sports and the weather.
And now you've heard about our fans and our flames. So,
listen, we're here. We've been saying we're getting here, but we're here.
We are. Listen, we've been waiting for this day since the day after Super Bowl. So,
I mean, pretty much about midway through the Super Bowl, we were already grieving that it was coming. But we're here. Listen, college football is upon us. I guess technically when this comes out Tuesday, the NFL will be like 48 hours from us.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see if we're there for the game. I don't know. I still don't know.
Who knows?
It's a whole thing.
Where it will pop up.
Did you watch? I think you did, because I think I already know this, but for the audience, did you watch the Colorado game last night?
I absolutely watched the Colorado game last night.
Okay, so Colorado played North Dakota State, which is pretty much like playing DeVry Technical.
Right.
But it seems it was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, so usually these bigger teams will play a throwaway team on their first game just to kind of like build your momentum, get your fan base going. It was neck and neck pretty much the whole way through, which was surprising. Listen, the announcers were clearly Colorado fans.
Well,
the way they were hyping up Shedeur as one of the best quarterbacks. Listen, my guy can only throw a couple yards. The rest of the time they're running it. And if he didn't have Travis Hunter, we wouldn't even be talking about Shedeur.
Well,
because Travis Hunter makes them all look.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I went and looked at the stats. I didn't get to see the game. I was out in the depths of the muggy hell in a field watching my son play 8-year-old football. But Shedeur had 445 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to be throwing it somewhere. But everything on Twitter is all about Travis Hunter. Every celebrity, athlete, LeBron, everyone is total Travis Hunter. And I just have to think, and this, I don't know, Dion, we've not met. But I got to have this feeling that eventually this season, he's not going to like that Travis is getting the hype that Shador is not.
100%.
So
because
what happens then?
Shador is going to go number 1 in the NFL draft. Maybe he will, but I think he'll have a little bit of competition.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it could be either one of them, but I just feel like Travis is the one putting up the actual performance to warrant that. Now, again, we're one game in. It was North Dakota State. If I'm a Colorado fan, first of all, like, what are we doing with our lives? But second of all, I think I'm already worried. Like,
yeah. Well, here's the thing. So after the game, Coach has a wrap party in the locker room. He gave the cockiest post-game press conference. My guy, you barely pulled out a win to North Dakota State. This is not – you guys acted like you just won the national championship. I do not understand.
I just think it's the prime time, you know. I just think it's Dion. But I think if I'm a Colorado fan, like, I'm paying for that. So, like, you're going to need to deliver as well.
He's so cocky.
Yeah.
I need you to be humble just a little bit to be like, listen, they played a great game. We struggled in a couple of areas. But it's like he's always talking to these haters that he's got going in his brain. Can we just focus on the job? And instead, your son's running to the sideline, showing off his watch, acting all big and bad. Maybe stick him in the weight room. I'm pretty sure Shador doesn't have a muscle on his body. We're just doing cardio, and I don't get that. They're going to eat you in the NFL.
Yeah, he looks tiny to me. I also noticed I watched a couple of plays with Shiloh on defense. He's kind of a dirty player.
Listen, I said it last year. I said it again last night. He is the dirtiest player that I've seen in college football.
Yeah, he was like
cheap shot.
This guy, like, he got he ran the defender, or I'm sorry, the receiver out of bounds. They were all the way to the team's bench, and he was still shoving the guy into the bench. And I'm like, I understand you're amped, but, like, somebody could really be hurt.
And then when flags get thrown, Shador and Shiloh are the only ones that are up in the refs trying to get them to be like, oh, you don't need to call that. Get to the huddle and shut up.
Yeah.
Come on. Nobody in the NFL is going to care who your daddy is because, listen, nobody cared who you were playing football until your daddy became your coach. So maybe take a seat and let's just perfect our craft.
Yeah, I don't
know.
This
is very much a one-sided beef I have with Colorado. They don't care.
Well, and I assume they have fans, but I feel like really anybody that's a Colorado fan today that's not from Colorado, it's bandwagon people, and it's like
possibly. I just think at some point I would get exhausted as a fan. Yeah. Listen, Coach Prime's a lot to take in.
Listen, there was another game last night.
There was.
My Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, okay, I joke about Colorado. I joke about Colorado playing North Dakota State, and that's pretty much DeVry. Now, Arkansas played the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, UAPB.
Yes, they did.
It's a wee small school. But listen, as an Arkansas fan,
they won.
You're still never sure you're going to win that game. But hey, Bobby Petrino is back on the hill, 70-0. I'm down.
Listen, we'll take it. We'll take it.
You know who else put up a lot of offensive points last night?
Would that be the Mizzou Tigers?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't even know they played. No, UCF.
They did. Yes. They did great.
Yeah. No, Missouri, who did they play?
They played Murray State.
Oh,
so again,
they only played basketball. I didn't even know they had a football program.
They do. It was 51-0 is what the final score was. So good start for really,
I don't know that we really have a taste yet of what the season's going to look like for any of those teams yet, but
yeah. So we are Mizzou fans in the house because that's where Doug was raised, but we are not allowed to watch Mizzou games in our house. It's a superstition. Doug thinks if we watch the game, they won't do well. So he keeps me updated on his phone because he'll just get like the ESPN or SEC notifications. So
as you do.
That's how we watched Mizzou last night.
It's kind of how I feel when I watch the Chiefs games. If I'm not in person, I feel like it's like a pacing motion. Should I watch it or should I just click the ticker? It's a lot.
Yeah. I've also really learned about myself. I am not someone that I think could watch football games with other people that just watch football for enjoyment. I coach. I act as if I also am winning or losing this thing. Right. And I don't know why. I get too invested. I yell. I say things that are not very demure.
Yes. Or mindful. Yeah. No.
It's not great.
Yeah. When Aaron and I first got married, he was, and I don't think he would still say he is like a huge football fan. He's definitely more into it. He enjoys going to a live sporting event. And of course he loves to watch Judd. He's getting more into it, but because of, force and the brute force that I bring with me. That's right. But when we first got married, I was concerned about that because, I don't just like take it in like you might take in a movie. Like I'm immersed. It's like a full experience. And I don't need like your dumb questions or your mockery. I don't need any of that. Like this is my sanctuary and you can either come in or exit out. Yeah, I'm not great at a watch party. Not really my thing. I'm probably better at home.
Right. Yes.
Or there at the actual event.
Right.
And sometimes I'm not great there. I've nearly been thrown out of a lot of things. So, we'll see.
We know this about ourselves.
Yeah.
And I would like to say we're trying to be better, but we're not.
No,
we are not.
No. I'm 41. I am who I am. Okay. So we normally kick off with Taylor talk. It's a little smaller this week. So we're going to roll with football, but it is going to get to Taylor. So if you're a Taylor fan and you're here for that, don't lose heart. We will get there. But in other important news this week, some people kept their jobs and some people lost their jobs. So if you're not familiar, what happens this week on Tuesday is the 53-man roster comes out for every NFL team. Mm-hmm. So basically, if you just heard that gagging noise, it's my dog. I apologize. He's now throwing up. But basically what happens is the coaches go through, they have anywhere from 53 to like 100 people that they're looking at. I think the Chiefs on Tuesday started with 90, I want to say. That may be way off. Somebody started with 90. You got to get down to 53 because that's the NFL rule. And so that's where you give people the boot, you trade them, you put them on practice squad, or you give them a roster spot.
Yep.
There were some surprising moves. We did in our last episode predict who we thought was going to make the wide receiver roster for the Chiefs. I wasn't right, and I'm still not happy.
Yep.
But we kept Sky Moore, and I guess we're just going to go with that. I don't know. How do you feel?
I mean, I wasn't happy about it. Clearly, Coach needed to call us. Just further insight. Maybe he wasn't aware.
Yeah,
but
I guess.
It was interesting that they kept him because I didn't think he did anything better than in practice or the preseason.
Well, I knew. So the news broke. Did the news even break Monday that we cut Kadarius Toney, or was that just early Tuesday? It was early Tuesday. It was pretty quick on Tuesday. They gave Kadarius Toney the boot finally, which I'm good with. That's what I wanted. But I think if we had to keep one or the other, I'd have still kept Kadarius. And not only because of their dating situations that I don't approve of, but he still played a bigger role in previous big games than what has Sky Moore done?
No. Yeah, that one, it just surprised me.
I didn't understand. We did cut the Welsh rugby player, little Reese Zammit. He had been in the Chiefs training camp as a running back or kickoff returns. And then he was also punting a little, which was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But he got picked up for the Jacksonville Jaguars practice squad for a wide receiver. I was like, we hadn't even been practicing that, my guy. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I guess if you're learning the football game from rugby, might as well test him out in all spots and see where he fits.
Yeah, I guess. The Chiefs
I'm glad he found a place, though.
Me too. I mean, dude is athletic as can be. But he had also been struggling with some big back issues here. Whereas they even thought about, or they were talking about, are they going to put him on the IR or go ahead and cut him? So
Gotcha.
I don't know, but we'll see. We got a new quarterback in Kansas City.
Okay, this surprised me.
No, we still have Patrick. For those of you who are new to football, don't be confused. That has not changed.
Yeah, and our backup still wins.
Yeah, which is, to me, I'm thrilled with that.
Yes.
But yeah, so we got rid of Ian Book, who, if you don't know who Ian Book is, he had a wee bit of a splash in New Orleans with the Saints, but more like a puddle splash. Yeah. But we got Bailey Zapp, who was a starter in New England.
Right. I think I was more surprised that they didn't keep him as at least a backup in New England.
Me too. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But welcome aboard, Bailey. We made a lot of changes with the wide receiver room. We put a lot of people on practice squad, which I think most people expected. Yeah. I will say Justin Ross went to the practice squad just based on the 2 training camp practices that I went to. I thought he had a better chance to make the roster than Sky, but I never can tell if I can separate my personal feelings and my professional opinion. So
I don't think we can. Let's just be honest.
And I use the term professional opinion loosely. But we put him on the practice squad. Nico Remigio, which, again, we talked last week. Todd said he was going to pound the tables to keep him, which they did, but practice squad.
Yeah.
And then Montreal Washington also went to the practice squad. The only other surprising thing I saw was Deion Bush, who's just a veteran safety. They put him on the practice squad.
Yeah.
I just get nervous with the defense. I feel like they get hurt a lot. Let's keep everybody we can that knows what they're doing. But
right, which is why I'm glad that they move them to the practice squad. So at least they're close. If we need to sign you real quick, you've already been practicing. You're good. Yeah.
One of the other surprising moves, not with the Chiefs, I wouldn't say surprising, but Dalvin Cook got picked up by the Cowboys. Now he is on the practice squad, but I think they're pretty confident they'll elevate him first game anyway. I think that was a great pickup for the Cowboys because I'm going to be honest, guys, Ezekiel Elliott not going to stay healthy all season.
Even if he is healthy, the man's old. We all saw what happened when he went to New England. He just isn't.
Yeah, he's not what he was.
No.
Any other big?
It's one of those things. We expect that because your position gets pounded the most. So, it's not going to last as long.
The other one that I forgot to put in the notes too, Jody Fortson got cut from the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And our house is not happy about that. We were really hoping, and I'm still holding out hope that he lands on the Kansas City practice squad, but they did go get Bailey Cupp for the practice squad. So I don't know what that looks like. Yeah. I don't know if there's rules about you can have X amount of tight ends on your practice squad, or if it's just more what makes sense and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I was really hoping maybe the Chiefs would pick him up and bring him back.
I still think that they could. Still hoping and praying. We went out and we got, I don't guess we've talked about this. We went and got Hendershot, a tight end from the Cowboys.
Okay, I saw that. That didn't make any sense to me.
I'm not friends with this person in real life, but Andrew Sproul, who is one of Travis's trainers, we are social media friends. And so he and I were conversing about this on social media, and it was the day that Jody got cut, and then we got Hendershot, and I was like, but why? Why go get Hendershot and not go get Jody, who already knows the playbook, who's already comfortable with Travis, and he's learning from him, and he's great with Patrick.
Right.
He was like, well, they're going to keep Hendershot on the 53 because they actually traded for him and not just picked him up on waivers. And so that gives us 4 tight ends with Noah Gray, Jared Wiley. Yeah, and then Trav. So I don't know. I'm still hoping Jody lands back with the Chiefs, but we'll cheer for him wherever he is. Any other big surprising 53 cuts for you?
No, I think the Zapp one is really the only one that just stuck out to me. I thought it was weird that he got cut. I thought it was weird that we picked him up.
I'm lying. There's another one we haven't talked about. Malik Willis going from the Titans to the Vikings.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You did. We texted about it. It's fine.
Fantastic.
I was surprised by this one because, because you said to me, who's going to back up Will?
That's right.
Yeah. And I said, I don't know. Should I volunteer? This happened.
Okay. I remember this now. It's coming back.
Yeah. But what I thought was interesting is I've seen a couple of people point out on social media, interesting that they went for Malik and they didn't go for Ryan Tannehill, who's available.
I've been very surprised that nobody's picking up Tannehill that needs a good backup.
And I'm telling you, whoever's in Minnesota is going to get playing time because Sam Darnold, first of all, is not it, and he's going to get hurt.
I really think we're going to see just a revolving door of quarterbacks for the Vikings this year like we did last year, unfortunately, when Kirk got hurt. Now, so,
I mean, it bodes well for JJ when he comes back next season.
Yes.
But we'll see. So the cutting of the men on the 53-man roster day means that preseason is officially over.
Yes.
And there were some winners. There were some losers.
There were.
Again, we're still not completely sure why we have the preseason because then we get people like Hollywood hurt, but it's fine, Andy. Whatever you're going to do. Who won the preseason for you?
So I think for me, for who won the preseason, honestly, was the Denver Broncos, which surprised me. Bo Nix, listen, we didn't get any interceptions. He led them to 3-0 preseason. Now, obviously, he didn't play the whole game for all of them. But I felt like from where they have been, kind of seeing some life back in that team was good. But listen, I'm not happy about it.
No.
I don't like Sean Payton at all. No. But I did think that they won for me. Who did you think won the preseason?
Well, I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to comment on that first.
Okay.
I think it's interesting what's happening in Denver. I actually have I have two people because,
can't be combined.
Yes. But I have Bo, and it's, again, guys, it pains me because he cost my man Gus a job in Auburn. But Bo really turned it on, and I thought it was interesting, and I've seen people on social media comment about this. Jarrett Stidham's reaction and Zach Wilson's reactions to being not the starter. Vastly different. Zach is like, I am happy to be here. The weight of New York is no longer on me.
Zach
Let me go my hair out and have fun. Yeah. And then Jarrett's like, I'm pretty sure I'm a starter in the NFL. Well,
I didn't know his name until this year. So
my friend, you are not a starter. You can't even beat out Bo Nix and Zach Wilson. So it's over, my friend. But I had Bo, which we'll see what happens in the regular season. Ugh. Anyway. But the other one that I had is Drake May. Now,
yes,
I am a Carolina fan, not so much football. But I love Carolina basketball. Like, I love Razorback football. Like, I bleed baby blue during basketball season.
Yeah.
Drake May, I mean, I don't understand exactly what Mayo is doing in New England because they announced this week that Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starter for week 1. I'm going to tell you that's going to last 1 week. Mm-hmm. Because in the same sentence as him announcing Jacoby as the starter, he said Drake outperformed him all summer. What are we doing then? And I get the whole Jacoby's been in an NFL game situation.
So?
He hasn't won any of those games. So do we care?
Yeah. I was shocked when they made that.
It will not last. He got hurt in the last preseason game on his throwing shoulder. What are we doing?
No. There has to have been some strategy for something by him making that statement and picking him as his starter because you're right. That's not going to last. Drake's going to end up being the starter.
Yeah, it's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But also, I just think the kid is like a stellar quarterback. When they show, they say that Joe Milton, who is, I guess, their third string, they say he can consistently, accurately throw 90 yards, which is fantastic. But how often do you throw 90 yards in an NFL game?
Right. That's not super often.
Not really ever.
Yeah.
I guess you could, but it would be weird. So I don't know. I'm concerned for the Patriots that Coach Mayo being a defensive player himself, may be a little too focused on that and might be a little confused what he should be doing on offense.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll learn real quick, though.
I don't really care. I mean, Godspeed to you, but listen, Drake May, I'm a big fan. So we'll see. Yes. Who lost the preseason for you? And I'm so curious if we're going to have the same answer.
Okay. So I went Steelers on this one. Specifically, I don't think we're going to match. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I think for me, I was really thinking that I would see Russell come out with a little bit more life, like you got out of your bad environment. We're in a new area. I think he's done for his career. But I really thought we would see Justin Fields do really well because he was not bad when he was in Chicago. I think they did him a little dirty and cut him. So I thought we would see that. So for me, I had some expectations for the Steelers that I just was like, maybe you guys aren't it this year. I didn't think they were going to go far, but I thought they would do decent. And
ironically, we did not come up with the same answer, but ironically, I did think about Justin Fields for my answer. So,
okay.
I went with Brandon Ayuk and Jamar Chase.
Listen, I can get behind that.
Guys, I mean, Brandon's finally signed his new contract or agreed to it yesterday, which
it's the same one that was on the table months ago.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You know what happened? They went out and tested the market, and all they were going to get from Denver was Cortland Sutton.
Right.
What? But you still paid Brandon when you knew you couldn't trade him and get what he was wanting? I don't understand that at all. Jamar Chase is still holding out, which again makes no sense because he still has 2 years on his contract. So
I don't understand how they can hold out when they still have more years on their contract. Like you would think at this point in the NFL, we have gotten smart enough to put the wording into these contracts that says you can't.
That's that HR side of you, though. That's
apparently.
And again, it is not that Brandon nor Jamar need the practice of preseason. And honestly, they're probably better off not doing it so they don't get hurt like Hollywood. Yeah. But I think just from like a team standpoint and like, again, Brandon is familiar with Brock, Jamar and Joe are obviously very familiar with each other. So it's not that. It's more like, what are you showing the younger guys? You clearly don't care. You clearly are no Travis Kelce. So I just think it's a bad look. And I mean, more so for Jamar than I think for Brandon. I mean, Brandon wanted to get paid, fine. Who doesn't? But Jamar, like, you're not even up for negotiation right now.
Right. I didn't even know it was an option that you could hold out with 2 years left.
Yeah, I don't even get it. I just am like,
no,
please don't come at me with you think you're going to be the greatest in the league and you can't even like be a team player on a team sport. I don't know. They were losers to me. And they both play for teams that I hope lose. So it works out. This week or last week, a most overrated quarterback poll came out that apparently was voted on by around 100 to 110 NFL players, which I thought was interesting. There were some surprising answers to me, I guess. The top 3 in order was Josh Allen was number 1, and then Jalen Hurts and Tua tied for second as most overrated quarterback voted by other NFL players. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I definitely disagree with this.
I figured with 2 Alabama options, you are never going to agree with this.
We aren't doing this. And Josh Allen. I've even said this year, I hope that he has more success, not complete success. But I would be interested to know who these 110 NFL players are because that's not a lot of NFL players when you think of all the teams and all the players. So are these like third string quarterbacks that are jealous? What are we doing, guys?
I was confused because perhaps I misread the article, but Josh Allen, the way I read the article was that he got 11 votes. But I guess what that means is maybe I'm guessing maybe what this poll really was they voted on all the overrated players and the top 3 vote getters for quarterback. Doesn't mean they were maybe the most overrated in the entire NFL. That's what I'm guessing. But a lot of people were real mad about Josh Allen. Even LeBron, again, so active on the social media. Right. He was like, what?
Yeah.
Now, I will say, Josh has not delivered.
Yet. That's
he's not on my list either. I just am pointing it out. Who are your top 3 most overrated quarterbacks?
So for mine, I went Aaron Rodgers. I'm still, because he was hyped up last year and he played for like 4 minutes, and you're still hyping him up, but he skipped some of the practices. He has skipped so much stuff. You're not showing leadership.
Yep.
You are getting older. So I kind of think we're hyping him up when we really haven't seen anything and quite see the dog agrees.
Yeah.
The other one I have is Joe Burrow. And maybe it's just because I don't focus on his team or him very much, but I feel like he's hyped up a lot for somebody that gets injured pretty easily and pretty frequently. And also, you haven't done anything. So I'm not really sure why he gets hyped so much. And then the other one, I had to go with Dak Prescott. Because again, you can't get the Cowboys there, and you guys are stacked.
Yep.
So listen, he's still a great quarterback. He has gotten them to the playoffs. We just can't get past the playoff game.
Yeah.
So
those are some really great options. I concurred with Aaron Rodgers. I'm so ready for him to be done. Like I saw this week where he said, they asked him, why did you come back at your age? And he said, because I wanted to go out standing up. Okay. Like,
you're practically in a wheelchair. You're not going up.
Whatever, my guy.
What are we doing?
I went Lamar.
Okay. I thought about him. He was
which is odd because we're going to talk about our fantasy football teams here in a minute. And he's my quarterback. It's a whole story. We're going to get into it. Don't ever have 16 teams. That's all I can tell you. But again, he doesn't deliver. Like, you can win a lot of regular season games, and that's fantastic for your ticket sales. But I need a trophy. I need a ring.
Well, and when he gets to those big games, he doesn't even play like Lamar.
He looks scared.
Yes, which is crazy because you watch him all year, and I'm like, you're a good quarterback. But then when you get to where it really matters, and he just panics.
And then the last one, actually, I'm kind of mad now because I'm totally in on what you said about Dak Prescott. So that's going to be my 4th because
Okay.
But I went Trevor Lawrence. Not that he's even relevant, but let's not forget he is one of the top 3 highest paid quarterbacks.
That is true.
And what have you done? You can't even win the regular season games.
I am still convinced. Yeah. He got that contract because they were like, listen, no one else is coming here. And we got to have a franchise guy.
We're just going to hold on to that long hair for as long as we can. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of some NFL talk. We're going to switch gears to fantasy football, which also involves NFL. And Becca, if you're following our show notes, I'm apparently going everywhere today.
All over the place.
Don't let me forget other topics because it's possible. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, gosh.
So this week we had the Asbury family fantasy football draft on Tuesday night. It's an annual tradition. Last year, Becca had a smashing year. Losing to my then 7-year-old pretty handedly. I came in second last year by 0.4. I still can't talk about it, but it's fine. This year we increased our league. A lot of people want to play with us.
I can't blame them. We're a fun hang.
I mean, it is a ruckus good time. We had 16 teams, and let me just go ahead and tell you, the day of the draft, I got concerned that perhaps this draft might take 7 to 8 hours. And so I went into the settings and I adjusted it and only allowed 30 seconds per choice, which I think was a great move.
Okay. I was like, man, I feel like I'm having to pick one.
I'll be honest, when I was on the clock, there was one time that I'm pretty sure I stopped breathing because it does, and it starts flashing red real quick, and it's very overstimulating. But I just was concerned with 16 people. If they had 60 to 90 seconds, we're going to be here all night. And I was worried.
Still took the full 30 seconds. And I'm like, what are we picking? Let's go, folks.
Yeah. And we do have one 8-year-old and one 10-year-old. And so I was like, they got to get in bed. So we drafted. And the other thing that happened is we do the ESPN app. If you're curious, it's my favorite. A lot of people prefer the Yahoo. I just don't.
I've never used the Yahoo one, but the ESPN one, if you're not used to fantasy football and drafting and all that, it's super user friendly. It's fantastic.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because I've got 2 complaints from our league that we are still using ESPN. Listen,
Okay. They can
find your way out. You can find your way out of the league, okay? Because I'm not doing
you do not handle criticism well.
And both of them commented about the scoring system in ESPN. I didn't know I could adjust that, and I'm not going to because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Stop. If you want to be the commissioner and handle the money and all that, you go ahead. But anyway.
Oh gosh.
What happens though is 1 hour before your draft, you get your draft order, and it randomizes it. Last year, I got number 2, which worked out so perfect. I got Christian McCaffrey, rode him all season. It was spectacular. This year, I got 14 out of 16. It didn't go well, okay? Pretty much what was left by the time I got my first pick was like the second and third string of every team. I didn't know what to do. It was a full panic. Every strategy I had was gone.
Listen, I had number 4, and people kept taking my players.
Yeah, I got to get mine pulled up because now I've even forgotten who I have because it was nothing as I had planned.
No.
But I did get a couple of things that I was like, in the end, right when you finish the ESPN draft, you get this email, and it tells you your score. Well, your girl still got an A+.
Oh, well, that's good for you. Good.
Yeah, what was yours? Because I can see it in my chart. What was yours?
I was real offended.
Okay. Was it a D?
It was a D. A D.
D for diploma, though. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
Yeah.
I went in last year with vibes and name recognition. That's how I picked my team, folks.
Right.
Well, listen, I wasn't the worst in our league, but I was nowhere near the best.
It's true.
So this year I had a strategy. I had looked up names and stats. I had some people picked. I had my queue ready. And then the people before me, I didn't even look who it was, probably for the best, kept taking my players. And I was like, what are we doing? So, but I still had the number 4 pick. I still felt like I was getting some good players. And then I get the email from ESPN that my draft grade is a D. I was offended.
I don't know how to feel about it because usually when I draft, like last year when we drafted, before I even checked my email, I was like, oh, I am going to kill it. It's going to be amazing. And then I got my email and I think I had like a C rating. By the way, if the dogs go nuts, apparently my husband has ordered food. Something's about to transpire. And this year I felt like crap about mine. And then I get an A. So I'm like, what is even happening? Who was your first pick? I don't remember that. I tried to remember.
Oh, the first one I took was Pacheco, I think.
Okay. So I went running back as well. But I was so far down the list, I had to go Jonathan Taylor from the Colts.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know what's going to happen, folks. But then I also did something, I believe with my second pick, I did something that I told y'all 2 weeks ago not to do. I drafted Najee Harris. Guys, I don't know.
Listen, when that popped up on the top of my screen, and I was like, what? What?
Listen, when you have 16 teams, this is what happens.
It's too many. It's too
And
many.
then, just to double down on the insanity of not being myself, then I went Devonta Smith. What am I, the Alabama fan?
Okay. Not a bad pick.
Well, I mean, obviously not. I got an A and you got a D, but
okay.
Then it came time where I started to panic because my child, first of all, had already at this point sitting right next to me drafted Patrick Mahomes. Please bear in mind that my team is called Rolling with My Homies.
Yep.
My child takes him number 1. Who did my child take second? Travis Kelce. So I was like, okay, I'm starting to panic. Quarterbacks were flying off the board at this point.
Okay, that shocked me because we had talked, we're like, don't take a quarterback first or second even, and people started taking them. I was like, oh gosh, what do I do?
So I panicked, and I now have in my quarterback slot Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't know what's going to happen there. The only thing that I felt super confident in was at tight end. I did get Sam Laporta.
You did. You took him before I took my tight end because he was my number 1 pick.
Well, he was my number 2 after I wanted Trav just for the sake of having him. Stupid kid took him. But Travis said that if he was playing fantasy football, he would draft Sam Laporta. So I was like, I'm going to go with it.
Yep.
And then I went with Old Faithful on my bench. I went and got Herbert again because, guys, I'm telling you, he may suck and they may lose, but he is consistent. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I also got the Steelers defense, which I felt good about because of TJ Watt. And then they're only projected to get like 6 points against the Falcons.
Listen, I don't really understand the whole defense part because those started going pretty fast too in the draft. And I was going to say them.
Some confused people, children.
Yeah,
because I think that Judd may even have gotten the Chiefs defense as well.
I think he did. I think
so
I saw him.
Pretty much that bye week they have, I think it's like week 14. He's pretty much going to sit that week out.
Right.
Maybe you'll get lucky and maybe that'll be the week you play him this time.
Here's the hope.
God. I don't know how to feel about the other thing that went quick was kickers.
Yes.
Again,
the real quick. Listen, I was convinced I went in with a strategy of getting my running backs and my wide receivers first. And then I started to panic when I saw the quarterbacks and the kickers and everybody leaving the board. And I was like, well, crap, now I got to switch gears. So it just wasn't great. I ended up getting Jordan Love for my quarterback because he was the highest rated that was left by the time I picked. Yeah. I don't think it was a horrible choice. It just wasn't what I was wanting.
Yeah.
Whoever had the third pick in our draft took my quarterback, so that's fine. But I got Baker Mayfield as my backup.
That was Judd. That was your boy Judd.
Oh, okay. God,
Judd. He's kind of out to get you every time in every way.
Now I feel it's personal. So,
oh man,
okay,
Judd. We'll see. Yeah. I'm super excited for it to kick off. I actually have another draft tonight. I normally do not commit to more than one league because I get real invested.
Yes.
But the Swiftie community is doing a huge, it's turned into this massive thing that I did not know what I was getting myself into.
That feels too much already.
They were like,
Swifties, that already feels like there's too many people.
Listen, I mean, there's a lot of people. So there are 47 leagues.
Okay.
13 teams per league. Each league is named for a song on the Eras Tour.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, like they have put in so much work. But they, when you signed up, it was like, hey, have you ever played fantasy football before? Are you interested? Have you ever been a commissioner? Be careful when you mark yes. So I am the commissioner of the I Can Do It With a Broken Heart League.
Okay. I feel like that's solid league.
I was super pumped when I got assigned my league name. I was so worried it was going to be one of the songs I don't like. I've got some really cool people in mine. We have a reality TV producer.
Fantastic.
Yeah. We have this woman in Kansas City. She's known as the Storm Chaser for the news. She's like real popular in Kansas City. She's in my league. I've got a couple of podcast hosts. And then I have an actress.
Look at you.
And then some just normal folks. We got one guy. He's a talent agent in LA. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, I'm super pumped. We draft tonight. It's ESPN, thank God. Same situation. So there's only 13 teams, but 13 is real close to the number of 16. So
that's true. It is. Listen, here's hoping you get a better number.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes tonight. I will also be in the middle of the school dance chaperoning when my
that already gives me heart palpitations.
I can't talk about that either. So yeah, but along those lines, what I have gained from this new experience of this other league that now I'm commissioning is everything is Swiftie themed, of course.
Okay.
My team is actually called The Last Great Fantasy Dynasty.
I like it.
Okay. I like it. So there's some really great names out there that I thought I would share with you because I know some people are still drafting. And we do have the combination world of Taylor Swift fans in football. So I was going to share with you a few names.
Okay, share.
Get your opinions. So from my league alone, some really good ones. Okay. Death by 1,000 punts.
Nice.
I know. This one is similar to your name, but the Tortured Ballers Department.
Okay.
The Getaway Kicks. I thought that was cute.
That was cute.
Then we have a Saints fan, bless them. Kamara's Karma, which
may the Lord be with you this season.
Yes. I'm worried about them. Somebody went with Suburban Legends. I felt like that was a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. But we still appreciate it.
Outside of my league, here's some names from other leagues inside of the Taylor Nation ordeal that we're in.
Food's there.
Food's here. All one word. I'm going to get you sacked.
Yes.
Such a good one.
I love that.
Ball too well. I mean, these people are so creative. This one made me laugh. 'Tis the postseason.
Okay.
We are never getting sacked together. Right where you sacked me. Touchdown bad or first down bad.
Okay.
This one I feel like you're really going to appreciate. But Daddy, I drafted him. Listen,
that one wins.
I would have stolen that for our family league, but like no one would have got it except for me, you, and my best friend Megan's daughter Jarrett, who's 10. Like no one else. But I like that one. My balls ricochet.
Yes. Oh, Swifties, you were killing it this year.
All you had to do was run.
Okay. Okay.
This one is funny. Is it over now? Parentheses. And did we win? And then how you get the points.
Okay.
I thought those were great.
Fantastic.
So if you're still looking, you're drafting, and you're a Swiftie, listen, you are welcome.
Golly. I'm pretty sure, but Daddy, I drafted him is my favorite.
Is that not so good? I would have totally done it, but and I forgot one other one. The smallest fan who ever lived.
Okay.
I thought that was a good one too. These people are so creative, way more than us.
Good. I like that.
I will keep you posted next week in that episode how this draft goes. Again, 13 teams. God only knows what'll happen.
It's a lot.
While we are talking about Taylor, we're going to jump to talk about Taylor, and then we're going to switch back to college football because I'm trying to keep Becca on her toes still. And because I think I got us off on the wrong foot by starting with football, so it's fine.
We're good. It's golden.
I feel really bad for Laura. She's going to hate this episode because I did her. There's not a ton of Taylor talk right now. Obviously, we're on tour break. We finished in London, but we did have a party in Rhode Island.
We did. We
did not make it to the event.
We were busy. It's fine.
I just had a lot of practices and stuff here, so couldn't make it.
We were prepping for our draft.
I'm pretty sure we were the only people that didn't make it, though.
That's what it looked like.
Sounds like everyone did. Obviously, we don't promote or support the fact that we got the long lens photos of them all on the deck, but I did see something yesterday that I did send to you. You know, when they're in Rhode Island, like you kind of just know it's going to happen. You're kind of out in the middle of everything. So it happens.
I still don't love the creepy paparazzi that just like these listen, those pictures were clearly taken from quite a distance. And so it is creepy. Like they're on their balcony. They're just trying to have dinner and hang out.
Well, and this time I thought I was a little I don't know if offended's the right word, but I guess I disliked it even more this time because they did all have their kids there with them. Yes. And some of them did blur out faces. There were quite a few who did not. And that's not right. Like we can't be doing that. I
think that was for me, one of those things where there are times that she has like her friends and stuff over where she knows she's going to be photographed. Mm-hmm. They're out on the lawn and those things. So from there, you kind of understand it, but you're right. When the kids were there, this was clearly like a family, close friends hangout. This is not the time to take pictures.
No. I sent you the thing on, I think we were on TikTok, where, someone was theorizing that they think Taylor or maybe Blake purposely called the paparazzi. Listen, we've talked about that before on here, and we're going to have somebody on, which we need to put a pin in that we need to talk about that. We're going to have somebody on to talk about PR stuff. But yes, we do know that celebrities do call the paps. Anytime you see back grid photos, I won't say anytime, but like 90% of the time that you see a back grid photo, their team has called the paparazzi.
Right.
Now, I do think there are some times that they may not personally know that their teams did that and their teams are doing it for them. I do not in any way believe that Blake nor Taylor called the paparazzi on this Rhode Island thing. And again, as we've said in every episode that everyone has asked 408 ways, our thoughts about the Blake Lively situation. No, I'm not going to say anything negative about her. Y'all are wrong, and that's not what happened. But I think that, people were saying this because of all the drama with It Ends With Us, and Blake has obviously had some negative publicity with this, and the truth, as her brother-in-law has said, has not come out yet. I don't think she called the paparazzi. If their children were not there, I could maybe believe that. The fact that their children were there and
right.
are some of the ones photographed, you're 100% wrong. Because while Blake knows how to play the game, they don't play games when it comes to their girls or their little boy. Like, it ain't happening. No. There is no way. She and Ryan both have nearly become physical with paparazzi over their kids. There's just no way. And y'all, Taylor Swift is not calling the paparazzi. What is wrong with you? Like,
right. She doesn't need to.
She doesn't have to. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I want to say I think y'all are stupid. As always, every week, people are stupid. And you, my friends, are the ones that are stupid this week.
Yeah.
Also this week, I believed it at first. I did get snookered again. But it came from Vogue.
Okay, see, I didn't look to see who the source was, because when you sent it, I was like, I feel like this is not accurate, but what do you want?
The social medias get me sometimes. So it came out this week in Vogue, which is a pretty popular organization, I'm just saying.
Also, you would think pretty credentialed.
That Taylor was going to finally release the book that she wrote when she was 14. Okay, I'll be honest, when I saw it, I was like, this is not the move I was expecting, because that book sounds weird to me. It's allegedly about a family who had a little girl but had wanted a little boy.
Yeah.
I just was like, that seems weird, but it's from Vogue. Well, of course, Tree came out in Entertainment Tonight. That ain't happening. So I got.
Because my thought was, if she's releasing a book, she wasn't going to let anybody know and be able to spoil that. She was going to make the announcement how she wanted to. So that's why I was a little skeptical.
Yeah. Well,
I think you just got excited because she owes us nothing, but we always want new something from Taylor.
So that does lead to my next topic. And I have no idea what you're going to say.
Lord.
Do you have any predictions for the remainder of 2024 for Taylor?
As far as potentially what she'll release, or just
anything? I want to hear what you think the rest of the year is going to look like.
Listen, I think the rest of the year, and this is probably just my hopes, I think we're going to see her all in on Kansas City, all in on football. She has been doing her tour. She still has a tour left, but I think she's ready to also be able to flip some gears here. And focus a little bit more on Travis and his family and all of that. So I think we're going to see her at a lot more football this year. She'll do her tour, but I think we're going to see her coming back more often. And then I think the tour will be done, and we maybe get a documentary. Maybe we don't. We'll see. But she rightfully so deserves a gigantic break after this tour.
I noticed
that I don't think she's going to release anything, if that's what you're asking. But Mandy, please tell us, what do you think she's going to release?
Well, I just was wondering if you were going to mention it. No, I'm kind of in the same camp. I think she's going to I think she will for sure, other than I think there's 1 or 2 games that overlap with the remaining tour dates. But I think other than that, every Kansas City home game for sure she'll be at. I think she probably will make an appearance at more of the away games this time too.
Yep.
We'll see. So I'm super pumped for that, for the Wagler season, as they call it. I'm excited for that. I love that Patrick Mahomes in an interview this week said that Taylor's even drawn up some plays.
Yes. I did want to talk to you about that because I really hope, listen, first off, I bet her plays are fantastic.
Well, of course.
If we know anything about Taylor, it is that she studies things to become a master at them.
Yep. And she's so detail oriented, like to an obsessive amount.
She's paying attention to things that we're not.
No.
I bet that she comes up with a play that I guarantee you Andy Reid will use this season.
Oh, 100%. And here's my hope, because I need it to be a hallmark moment. I hope that it's Travis scoring a touchdown.
Yes. Yeah.
I would really
love
what
the name of it's going to be, though. What are they going to call it? What's yelling to the guys?
It's going to have to be the name of a song for sure. I'm like, to be full hallmark, I hope the first touchdown of the season is Travis and it's her play.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
I mean, because I need it all with a pretty bow.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like a Taylor or Swift.
No, I think it'll be like one of the songs, like, "Are you ready for it?" Or, you know.
Yes, because it'll be something that their players know that the other team is just not expecting.
Yeah.
And they're just going to think it's just random words, but we're all going to know. So I need Patrick to be mic'd up.
Yeah.
And hear all the things.
We need to hear Kermit say it. So, yeah. And I need it to be confirmed in the press conference after they win by Andy Reid that it was his play. It was her play.
Absolutely.
As far as the rest of the year, something will happen on her birthday because it's December 13th and it's a Friday. That's just like in the Taylor world, that's a must. So
isn't that usually like a acoustic version of something will come out or
like a holiday
drop?
I am going to go ahead and guess, because that is right at the end of the tour. I'm going to go ahead and guess that that's the day they announce the documentary.
I can get behind that.
And then maybe it'll come out on like New Year's Eve again, like the Eras Tour movie did.
Okay.
Or around that time frame. I'm going to go, no, we're not getting any more music this year.
Okay.
I'm going to say debut in Rep TV for next year. And it hurts me. It hurts me. But it is what it is. The VMAs are in like 2 weeks. So we'll need to talk about those probably next week. She'll take home some of those for sure. I don't think there's a lot of competition this year, though, that I think she won't get near as she's not going to sweep by any means, I don't think.
No.
I saw the Grammy nominations are coming out like November 5th. She'll be nominated again. Okay. But I kind of think it's like family, friends. I think we'll see her spending a lot of time with the girls and just all of that. I think she'll probably be behind the scenes. I don't know if I think we're going movie next, that she's writing a movie screenplay. Okay. So maybe that's what she starts. She also strikes me as someone that while she likes to have a good time, I don't think her mind or her hands can be idle.
No.
So she'll be working on something. I mean, we know she'll be recording, but I think there'll be something more. But either way, I'm here to support whatever we're doing. Just let us know, Tay-Tay.
There you go. We like it.
I'm going to switch back to college football now.
Fantastic.
So we've got some big games this weekend, and we've got a couple we're going to talk about. Let's start with the Clemson-Georgia game.
Okay.
So I didn't realize that this is the first time they've played in a couple of years. I don't know why. I think it's because I feel like, along with the rest of the free world, that Clemson should also be in the SEC. So I think I feel like it's almost like a South Carolina Clemson game for them to play Georgia. Obviously, we both have said on here we feel pretty confident Georgia's going to be pretty decent this year.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. Clemson, I was reading up, replacing like a lot of their main starters on defense. That does not bode well. But I mean, Georgia's also replacing Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers, but it's also Georgia. So you know that like even your 7th string is like a 5-star.
Right. They're still great.
Of course, though, the legal issues
piling up.
I mean, Trevor, how do you say it? Etienne?
I think Etienne.
Yeah, his brother is Trevor E. He had a DUI arrest not too long ago, so I don't even know if he's going to start or play tomorrow.
What are we doing, boys? We have
I don't understand what Kirby Smart is doing. Hire out Uber to just sit at your complex.
I guarantee you, if those boys called a coach would gladly come pick them up and be like, listen, you might have been stupid at the party, but we're not going to be stupid and drive.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't get it.
No.
I'm going Georgia, though. What thoughts and notes do you have on that game?
Yeah, I'm still going to go Georgia on there. I still think they're stacked on both sides. So I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I also don't think it'll be neck and neck.
See, I'm going to go blowout.
Are you? Okay.
I'm going to go at least a 2 point. Oh,
I was going to say, that's not a blowout, Mandy.
No, I'm going to go at least 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
We'll see. Hey, it's all about predictions. We'll see.
We never know.
I mean, I thought we were getting Reputation TV about every other week, so who knows? This next one that I picked for us to talk about is kind of a weird one for me, but Miami, Florida, and not Miami, Florida, Miami versus Florida.
Yeah.
Again, to me, this is like, I would have thought they play all the time. I don't know. But I think that there's some interesting things at play with this game because I think both coaches are on the hot seat.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm curious, who are you picking to win this game, though?
I'm going Florida, but I really don't have a solid reason why.
I was going to say, is it just because they're the SEC?
Yeah. That was really
That's usually my default. That's usually my default, but I'm going to go Miami. Miami also, y'all know how I loathe the transfer portal. They went out there and robbed that portal of a lot of people. Their quarterback, their running back, their wide receiver, their starting.
They do make some moves.
Like pretty much everybody's new to the team. So I do think that could be interesting on the chemistry side, but I think they'll be a lot better than they were last season. And I just think Billy Napier he's going to be out in Gainesville. That job was way too big for his britches, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. That one will be interesting to watch.
I do think that one will be close. This next one, I'm excited. Notre Dame, Texas A&M.
College game day this weekend. They'll be there.
Johnny Football is the guest picker, Johnny Manziel, as you would, because it's in College Station.
Him and Pat, this might not be great mix.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting. But what do you think is going to happen?
Listen, I think it's going to be a real good game to watch, but I'm going to take Texas A&M. I will never take Notre Dame. Listen, you put Notre Dame.
We should have both picked Notre Dame just to make Laura mad.
You could put Notre Dame up against like Vista Community College. I'm picking Vista every time.
Well, I have got to tune in to the Bootcast from this week to see what Melanie Schenkel was thinking going into this weekend because I don't think anybody hates Notre Dame more than Melanie Schenkel.
No. And nobody loves Texas A&M more than Melanie Schenkel.
Exactly. And, I did say that I thought Notre Dame could be a sleeper to get in the playoffs. And again, I think it's because they're not in a conference. It's a whole thing. It's not because I'm a fan.
You're doubling down again on this episode.
No, I'm not. I was just about to say. Give me a minute. Nope, I'm going to A&M.
I was already judging you.
No, God, seriously, this time it was quick. No, this time I'm going A&M because I'm going to go with the winning key ingredient to this is the defensive line at Texas A&M. I think it's really one of the best in the country. And the biggest weakness for Notre Dame is their offensive line is like all freshmen.
Yeah.
So I think that alone is going to be the deciding factor. Both quarterbacks for both teams are coming off an injured season. So it's going to be iffy how that all goes anyway. But I'm also going to say it's the defensive line of Texas A&M and it's Kyle Field, College Station.
Well, so that's an experience.
That place in and of itself, I don't care if you're playing the blind school, is insane.
Yes.
So I just think that alone. Now, I will say Notre Dame, where they play like Touchdown Jesus, it's a massive experience too. Right. But a night game in the SEC, in College Station. I just don't know how you go against them. It'll be interesting, though. I can't wait. The LSU offensive coordinator from Jaden Daniels' days is now the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. So,
I mean,
but he didn't have Jaden Daniels, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going A&M. I do think it's going to be close.
Okay.
I
can see it being a close game.
Not like, oh my gosh, heart attack in the last second close.
Right.
Yeah. And then the other one I wanted to talk about was LSU USC. So this is like in Vegas. So it's like a whole thing. And as an Arkansas fan, we are like raised and born and bred to hate LSU, even though that rivalry, they've tried to switch it to Missouri, which, no offense, is just weird.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, oh, I hate LSU. I have that special place in my heart for USC that I don't know. I just love it. So I'm torn on this one because I normally, like I said earlier, would side with the SEC school.
Yeah.
But the LSU defense has a whole brand new team, a staff. Like, we had to go get everybody from Missouri because it was a disaster.
Yeah.
But then USC has like all new players on defense. So I don't know.
Honestly, I think this one could be a toss-up. Truly, who's going to win it? Being the first game, I'm going to pull for LSU.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't like Lincoln Riley a ton, but don't. Again, one-sided beef that I really couldn't give you a why for.
Listen, I think he could be on the hot seat too, because I think with USC, their boosters, they have a lot of money, and they don't care to lose money on a deal.
No.
Like, hey, we made a mistake. Who cares? You're out of here. We'll pay for it. So I think that there's that. He's going to be without Caleb Williams now, so it'll be a new quarterback. But that quarterback, I forget his first name. His last name is Moss. He played in their bowl game anyway and threw 6 touchdowns. So I think he knows how to play.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the LSU quarterback, he played their bowl game and he threw 3 touchdowns. So again, I think it comes down to defense, and I'm going to go LSU, but I have no idea.
Okay. All of these games are going to be so good to watch.
I'm so excited. I think game day is going to be
fantastic.
How do you feel about the new, like, having Saban? I mean, we know that you love Saban, but how did you feel that it went with him being on game day?
I really enjoyed it. I think that he is a good mix of being fun, but also bringing that different coach's mentality and perspective to the game. So I felt like they have a really good mix, and it keeps you entertained the whole time with their banter back and forth. That was kind of what I worried about, was how good he would be with the banter back and forth instead of just being analyst coach. But I thought he did a great job, and super enjoyable to watch. So I'm excited to watch it in the rest of the season.
Yeah, the camaraderie, I guess, with him and Pat McAfee, I love. I do wonder if he'll even be there, though, tomorrow, because his mom passed away.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. On the one hand, I think he's always going to show up, but on the other hand, I feel like that's your family. That comes first. So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Are we to the questions? Have I done everything?
We've done everything.
All right. Well, we've got some questions, and they're all over the place, like everything else in this episode.
Yes.
From Zachary, will Travis have a 1,000? I put 1K. It throws me off every time. 1,000-yard season, in your opinion, or what will his season look like? Great question. Thank you, Zachary.
It is a good question, because that is what the norm we are used to with Travis in the football season. I don't think that we will, only for the fact I don't think he's going to play as many plays during every game as we typically see. Last year, we would see him play a couple of plays, then he would go out for a play or two and then come back in. I think we're going to see that a little bit more in the regular season this year, because I don't know what it is with Travis in the postseason, but he cranks it up so much that I think they are going to try to make sure that he is staying healthy and has everything that he needs, so that once they go into the postseason, they can utilize him a little bit more. So I don't think we're going to see that 1,000 yards like we typically have.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I don't think it'll be another 1,000-yard season. I don't think his body can handle it. I don't think he'll play as much, like you said. But also, I think now with all these other offensive weapons that they've not had on the ready recently, I think it's just going to be spread out more. The other thing is, I think Travis is probably still going to have a lot of touchdowns because what I envision is those long down the field plays that Travis was getting all his yards for. I think that's going to be really in the wide receiver room now. And I think he's going to be a lot of those like short touchdown, like lob kind of passes. So I think his touchdown total will probably still be up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see those long down the field plays anymore. At least not frequently. I mean, hey, I hope he has a 1,000-yard season and he stays healthy and it's glorious, but
right.
It's also, we got to be real.
Yeah.
From Javi, I think, does it make the most sense to draft a quarterback first in fantasy football? Listen, Javi, it depends on how many flipping people are in your league. Okay.
It really does.
I'm going to go ahead and say if you have over 10 teams in your league, yes.
Okay.
Because I feel like at that point, you're going to end up in my boat and you're going to be on the second and third string running backs. And so go big or go home. On a normal, or if you're a first or second pick, no, I wouldn't do it. I would get you a good running back first if you have a good option. Don't get stuck with Jonathan Taylor like me. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do it.
No. Yeah, no, I think that's good advice on there. If you're within the first couple of picks, go running back first because they get you a lot of points. Maybe second pick, get your quarterback if you're a little worried. But yeah, I picked quarterback first last year. Of course, I didn't make a great pick, so I'm never going to say that that's a good idea, but
also matters which quarterback we're talking about, Javi. If you're talking about Bryce Young, as Becca might have led you down.
Say Bryce. Listen,
don't do it. Don't do it. And good luck in your draft. I hope it goes better than mine. Okay, this is from I'm gonna guess Shailene.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking it is.
Okay, great. I found your podcast from your review of TTPD. I was wondering if your opinions have changed. Commas. So what are your top 5 songs on TTP today, anthology included? I promise I know how to read. Yes, our opinions have changed. We've talked about it a little bit.
Welcome to our podcast.
Yes. Thanks for finding us. That is our most listened to episode. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that's how you found us.
Right. And we've also said before, like we listened to the album that morning and then we recorded. So we gave like instant thoughts and I don't think we agree with hardly any of them now.
No. And I didn't sleep all night because I was so amped up. So it was a whole thing.
Sure.
What are your top 5 right now?
So I went top 5, number 1, But Daddy, I Love Him.
Always.
Number 2, I'm Gonna Get You Back. Remember? Okay. Love a petty song.
Yep.
Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, and then The Black Dog. Those are going to be top 5.
Yeah, those are some interesting ones. So, as I always say about TTPD, I have to separate myself from the Eras Tour experience of it and the album. So you asked about the album, so that's what I went with because that doesn't change my answers. But Daddy, I Love Him, always. Down Bad. You know, I'm really into that song right now.
That was an honorary one for me.
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
Okay.
I'm Gonna Get You Back. And The Black Dog.
Okay.
Now, again, if we're talking Eras Tour, Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, Bridge is the best thing that's ever happened.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Always. Okay. I got no idea where to go with this name. I'm going to go Belia?
I went Valea.
Balea. Okay.
Who knows? If we are saying your names wrong, we are sorry.
Yes.
We're Southern.
Apology. This was a tough one. So, V, you asked who has the most staying power in Hollywood, Blake Lively or Emma Stone? I feel like you might be coming for me, V. Did I do something?
No, we're answering.
Did I hurt you as a child? What? All right. What is your answer?
Well, I went Blake Lively. I'm a huge Emma Stone fan. Anything she puts out, I'm going to watch. I do enjoy her as an actress. But when you're saying staying power in Hollywood, I'm looking at what's keeping your name in the spotlight. Emma really only does film. She's not doing a whole lot of extra on the side. Whereas Blake, you've got a hair care line, you've got drinks, you've got clothing deals that she does, you've got her movies. Then you have Ryan Reynolds, and you have her friendship with Taylor Swift. I just think with all of those things combined, that's constantly keeping her out there. And those are things that will continue to grow. She doesn't do a whole lot of films. She kind of, spreads them out so that we see her longer. So I'm going to go Blake on that, just for the mere fact that she has a lot more seemingly going on for her in the spotlight.
So I actually went the opposite.
What?
Let me explain.
What is life?
Let me explain. Actually, for the reasons that you just named. So I went based on exactly what the question, she said Hollywood staying power. So in my mind, that takes out everything else Blake does.
Oh, okay.
So if we're talking just acting, I'm going Emma.
Okay. I went Hollywood equals spotlight.
Yeah.
But you're saying it that way, I would go Emma.
Yeah. But I could go either way. Listen, Blake Lively will last forever in my heart. Emma's kind of on my bad side right now.
Okay.
Little too friendly with Joe Alwyn right now.
Yeah.
Too much. Now he's even cut her hair. It's too much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Personal, professional, there's no split.
Yeah. So again, it just depends on how you meant the question. If you meant just like a name that we're going to hear for the rest of our lives, Blake Lively.
Yeah.
If you're talking a name that we're going to see on the big screen for the rest of our lives, I'm going Emma.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for some Y Factor?
Do some Y Factor.
All right. What are you not liking this week?
Listen, what I'm not liking this week, and this will forever be until probably January, I don't enjoy people coming for other people on the internet because of their political beliefs.
Oh.
I've said this numerous times. Guys, it's 2024. We get to have differing opinions. We get to support whatever candidate that we want for whatever our personal reasons are. And we get to respect someone else for having different beliefs than we have. So can we just quit it with the nasty Twitter responses and videos, and this person can't be friends with this person because they have different beliefs? Come on. As an adult, now, as a young 20-something, I probably would have followed that same belief. As someone who's nearing 40, I have a lot of friends that have differing opinions. I have family members that have differing political opinions, and that's okay. It makes the conversations more exciting. Yep. You get to learn things that maybe you were closed off to before, you didn't think of before. So I just seeing the negativity and now she has to hate this person because she it's just wild to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. This is not a political promotion at all, but did you see the clips from the Swifties for Kamala event where Carole King sang "Shake It Off"?
I missed that.
It's a whole vibe. I mean, it's a whole world we're living in.
Okay.
Listen, I do not for one second think this person is going to be in my DMs like he was in someone else's DMs this week, but I'm actually coming for Scooter Braun this week, as I always am. But this week he posted as if he watched for the first time the recent documentary about the issues between him and Taylor. First of all,
we know he watched that when it came out.
Your whole team is behind that. Like, what are we doing? We're not stupid like you. But then in the next slide, he posted a picture from the Rhode Island party and said something like, "Why wasn't I invited?" I just loathe this man. Because
he knows that's all that keeps him relevant.
I was just about to say, you're so irrelevant that you have to I can't stand you. And Kelly Keegs from Taylor Watch commented about this on her thing, and he came into her DMs. I haven't listened to their show yet to find out how that all went down, but get a grip, my man.
Right. Come on, guy. What are we doing?
I can't believe we're still talking about Scooter Braun, and he doesn't even have a career, really.
No.
Okay. What are you liking?
What I'm loving this week, we have Only Murders in the Building is back.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Have you watched the first episode this season?
No.
It's so good. I always get upset.
You were about to say, I thought you were going to say something about Meryl Streep and Martin Short. Are they together?
Oh, I don't think they're together.
Why were they holding hands? I know that's speculative.
Because they're old and they're precious.
Okay, go ahead.
They just do. Anyway, it was so good. We had some cameos. We had Molly Shannon, Zach Galifianakis, Eva Longoria, Levy. I can't think of his first name right now.
Dan
Levy.
Yeah.
So good. So funny. It's going to be a fantastic season. So that was out this week, but also New Heights is back, their podcast.
Yes.
Listen, they had Adam Sandler on this week.
Yeah.
If you have not listened to that episode, go listen to it. It was so good.
Yeah, it really was.
Always really enjoyed Adam Sandler. Always felt like he was just a very down-to-earth guy for the industry that he's in. It just made me love him even more. So
I feel like every time they interview someone, I end up loving them more. Yes. I've never been like the opposite of anyone and then like I fell in love with that little Dickie guy. I didn't even know who he was.
Right. We didn't even know we liked him, but we do.
Yeah. No, I was so pumped they're back with their over $100 million deal with Wondery. Like,
get your bag. Go for it.
Proud of you, boys. Proud of you.
And listen, rightfully deserved.
Oh, heck yeah.
They've done a fantastic job.
I can't wait for Jason to be on Monday Night Football. So good. He is looking so lovely lately.
Right? Listen, like retirement is serving him well.
He's grooming. Like, yeah. He really, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I've got two things. Okay. I found this clothing line this week. This is their Instagram handle. It's and this is all one word, Dream Clothing HQ.
Okay.
So I saw on their thing that any orders over $100, they give 15% of that to a mental health cause. So I'm always down with that. But they have a line of NFL gear right now. And there's kind of a dual purpose of me bringing this up. First of all, I really like what they're doing with any business that does something with a purpose. I'm totally in on.
Yeah.
And their thing is called Streetwear with a Purpose. But this NFL line they have, it's Not Like Us, the Kendrick song. That's what it says on the sweatshirts. It says Not Like Us. And then it's like themed by the team.
Okay.
So we need the Chiefs. And I have DM'd you. I have tweeted you.
I have sent champions. That should have been your first one.
I have sent an email. I'm willing to buy 3. I'll even buy 4 if you get me the sweatshirts online.
Oh my gosh.
I will do whatever it takes to promote your brand because I think it's so cute and my family would love it. We love that song. Even my 8-year-old won't come for me. I don't care. But I need Chiefs because right now it's like the Raiders and the Eagles. We can't wear that.
Can't do that.
So anyway, dual purpose. Great brand, great cause. If you're a fan of those teams, they even have the 49ers. What are we doing?
What, guys? It's 2024.
Come on. Now, this next one, I've got no earthly idea how to pronounce this. But you're going to know who I'm talking about, I think.
Okay.
This is, again, her Instagram handle. It's at just SKRMETTI. So she's like a comedian. Ellen Scrametti? I don't know.
Sounds good.
Have you ever seen the woman on Instagram who she usually has her cell phone in her hand, brunette, real Southern, and she's like, David, is Jesus in right now?
Yes.
Okay. That girl. She's got a book coming out. She does like those phone calls. She's super Southern.
Yeah.
I can like, if I'm having a day, I will go look her up on Instagram and just watch. It's ones I've seen before and they still make me chuckle every single time.
I love that.
And so I had to do that a couple times this week. And she's got some real good ones out right now. They are so funny. She just has if you're not familiar, she has like this one-sided conversation with whomever she's called. She does some too when it's like a Southern funeral and they're trying to plan the potluck. Oh my gosh. So she's amazing. Again, I don't know how you say her name, but I'll put it in I was just about to say I was going to put it in the show notes. We don't even do show notes.
We don't.
I'll tag you. That's what I'll do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are good. I like those.
That's all I've got. What about you? Anything else?
Good. I think we're good. Just football is here, folks. Draft is here. Start drafting your team.
Yeah.
And if you listen to us and you have a draft and you have a Taylor Swift themed team name, send it to us. I would love to know what you guys are doing.
Yes. Next year, I'm going to go all in. I may even change because especially now that my son keeps drafting Patrick Mahomes and I don't get to, I feel like I can't be rolling with my homies. I don't even have Mahomes. The chipmunks are out, so the dogs are losing it. All right. Well, that's all we've got. Follow us on all the social medias. I can't even get into the name situation. Anyway, bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.